Hi everyone, and welcome back to the second video from our trip to Mexico in June of 2024. In today's video, I want to give you all of the details about the half-day private tour we took with My Quest Concierge. As you can see from their website, they offer many different types of tours in several countries. I found them through TripAdvisor, and they have absolutely wonderful reviews, not only on their pre-planned trips, but also the fact that they can customize one if you can't locate something to suit your needs. Once I located this tour on their website, we watched different YouTube videos on each one of these locations to decide that they actually were exactly what we were looking to do. We then reviewed all of the really helpful information on their website, including what you should bring, what is included and not included, as well as pricing. The booking process was very seamless and easy directly through their website. Our tour guide sent us an email the night before. I provided him with my WhatsApp phone number, and we were able to communicate seamlessly from then on. Our tour guide for the day's name was Johnny. He was absolutely wonderful. He picked us right up at the lobby of our hotel. We hopped into the car and we were off to our first destination. After a short ride, we arrived at our first destination, which was the Lagoon. This destination actually offers 3 different admission types, so if you had a car and wanted to go here on your own, you absolutely could do that, and here I'm going to provide those 3 different admission options for you. There are a few things that you should know about this lagoon. 1, everyone must wear a life jacket regardless of your swimming ability. 2, you must have a guide with you in the water. So if you do go here privately, your admission does include someone to swim the waters with you. You're going to see that this place is an amazing place to snorkel. It is brackish water, which means it is a combination of fresh and salt. And that is actually evident in the videos because you're going to kind of notice an oily sheen to the water. Johnny explained that this brackish water is here because the cenote that used to be there, eventually the walls eroded on that, and that fresh water from the cenote was then able to meet the ocean water. Because we were on a private tour, we were actually able to gain access to this lagoon at 8 a.m., meaning that we had the place all to ourselves, so it was just amazingly beautiful getting to experience this with no one around. You can see here that all around the lagoon is beautiful mangroves, which really helps set the atmosphere. We snorkeled for close to an hour and a half, and as we were leaving, we could see that the first group tour had arrived. After we left here, we were headed to our first cenote. It was a quick 7-mile trip down the road further south, and this was the place that Steve was looking forward to the most. Here is some information about the cenote that we visited. Again, it's good to note that you do not need a guide to go here. You can actually just come in your car, park, and then pay the entrance fee and enjoy the cenote all on your own. down a well-maintained path, we did come to the top of the first cenote. When we first arrived, there was another small group tour already there, but honestly, the cenote is fairly large, so even though there were a handful of us there, everyone had plenty of space. The water was amazingly clear, like you could see all the way to the bottom, which made it look so shallow, but our guide told us that in the deepest part, it was about 30 feet. There are two options to getting into the water. You can either go down those stairs over there, or you can hop off either of the docks at the top. I will tell you that the stairs are a little slimy, so be sure you wear some water shoes and use the handrails while entering the water. Our guide Johnny did mention that you can get some really large catfish in the cenotes, but we didn't see any of those. All we did get to see were all these brightly colored tetras. One of everyone's favorite things to do was a little bit of dock diving, and I have to say that the guides really do work together. Ours was in the water filming this angle for Steve, and then another guide was happy to stand up on top and film Steve from that angle as well. We spent about 90 minutes here, and from there we were headed a little bit further south to our last destination, which was the one I was most excited for. Just like the other two places, you do not actually need a guide to come here. You can drive yourself, pay the admission, and enjoy this attraction. And in my personal opinion, if I only could pick one, it would absolutely be this one. This location is actually really popular for scuba divers, and this old well here is actually how they get their equipment up and down to the cave below. I do want to say though, if you have any kind of mobility issues, this one might be a little bit harder to access because the steps you have to go down to get into this cave system are very steep. So just keep that in mind. Where the other two were very easily accessible, this one is a little bit harder. Taking this place in for the first time is just absolutely stunning. Like, I absolutely couldn't believe that this place was real and that I was allowed to come in here and explore and swim in this water. Just like with the last cenote, the water is absolutely crystal clear, and you are swimming with those little tetras, but also in this cave there are bats, and you can actually see one there flying around. Exploring here is part snorkeling, part canyoneering. The water is very shallow in some places, so you do have to walk, and then other areas you are swimming. Johnny had some very powerful flashlights with him so he could really shine them back into the caverns so we could see just how deep this goes. Again, I said this place is very popular for scuba divers, and they can go really deep far back to explore this whole area. Something else really cool to note is because there's no direct sunlight, there's absolutely no moss or algae growing on any of these rock surfaces. So it's amazing to be able to touch and feel and walk on all of this really smooth, beautiful rock and not have any of that slimy stuff under your feet. could have stayed here all day, but it was getting pretty late and everyone was getting pretty hungry. So when our guide Johnny suggested a very local place for lunch, we said absolutely. He did say local, but honestly, we were still expecting a restaurant of some kind, not a little stand on the side of the road. But I have to say, this was the best food that we ate the entire time we were in Mexico. Even though it was not expected, we did insist on paying for Johnny's lunch, so it cost us $40 for the three of us to eat. After that amazing food, we hopped back in the car, and it was about a 20-mile drive back to our hotel. Now, before we get into the final section of what this day cost us, I did want to point out that private tours really aren't much more expensive than group tours. I did look up 3 different group tours here to show you the price difference between what you might pay for one of these tours versus what we paid for our private tour. So here it is. Here's the total cost breakdown of our half-day private tour. I do have to say that we really felt it was worth it. We really enjoyed having that personal touch of getting to stay as long as we want or customizing the tour to exactly our needs. But tell us what you think down in the comments. Have you been on a group tour? How about a private one? How do you feel they measure up? We're so happy you're here. We really hope you'll subscribe to our channel. And as always, happy travels.